Alright, I'm gonna go make some coffee. That's what it sounds like when your motor hits something, by the way. And that's what it sounds like when the motor cuts off from hitting something. So we're on something. Now, I don't think I hit that hard enough to even hurt a shear pin, but I'm on a tree stump, so if my motor was shear pin, that might have just wrecked it. Older outboard motors used to have a shear pin where if you hit the propeller on something, the pin would actually break inside, stopping the propeller from spinning with the motor, so you wouldn't have any danger of hurting the motor. Now they have a rubber couplings in there that just basically absorb the rotation when you hit something, and if they need to, they'll skip one or two teeth of the rubber gears, so you don't have to ever replace a shear. We're fine. We're gonna go slow though. Look at how my motor all the way down can drive right next to shore. This is an interesting anchorage where it is just, it's deep. It is deep. And then there's a tree trunk. Now when you look at where I'm anchored here on Navionics, there's a couple of different tools I want to show you. Number one, you can see where the boat is based on GPS and see how close you are to the shore. Now if you want to measure how close you are to the shore to see if your anchor line is too taut or not, you can actually use Navionics to measure the distance here. You can also measure the distance across the whole bay to see whether or not it can fit you and your anchor line inside the bay to begin with. The other thing is, it's interesting to be able to tell how far areas are. If you wanted to anchor, up into this bay, it would show you it's too short for me with my 100-foot line, or if it's big enough for my 100-foot line to be in there. It's just a tool that I don't think a lot of people use that I wanted to point out here. I have one of these. When I first built my own truck camper, this was how I heated it. Thing's awesome. And then I brought it with me in my RV everywhere because I heat myself outside all the time with it. If it's cold outside and I want to be outside, I use this. But they're safe to be inside. They shut themselves off. In my little wooden camper, it would shut itself off, anytime it got like, I don't know, way before you started getting dizzy, it shut itself off. It wouldn't get anywhere near where it would be bothering you. So they're safe. But it's a wet heat, so if you use it all the time, your blankets are wet, everything's wet. Which is why the fireplace is good too. I think between the two things, I get instant heat with this little space heater, and then I get, dry heat with the fireplace. It's going to be a good little mixture. But I will tell you that this, out of all of my setups, the RV or the houseboat, both of those have thermostats for their heat, and whether it's diesel or propane, those are so much more tolerable to be in winter weather or bad weather in, because you don't have to worry about what the heat's doing. You're not part of the fire or watching what the propane's doing with this heater. I would never leave this propane heater going with the cat alone on the boat. Any of these heat sources, I have to be kind of right there, which really limits what I can and can't do. So right now, we have just taken off. The boat started up pretty good, and it's driving, and then I went, a few hundred feet, and the boat died out like it always does. So I just jumped over there and started the motor for the dinghy and had it side tied already, and then I'm over this motor not working. So at this point, I'm not headed back to the marina or anything. I'm just going to drive this boat to the next place I wanted to relax and stay at. And then I'm just going to use the anchor. I'm going to use the dinghy to put it on anchor and take it off of anchor and spend the weekend on this boat, regardless of whether or not the motor works. But the plan is to have the carburetor pooled and have that finished work over the winter break. I'm going to basically keep the boat here for winter, and we'll get into that over the rest of this video here. Look at all the prop washes coming from off of the boat. That's funny. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna go anchor there for a few hours and make some phone calls, figure out whether I'm gonna rent a car or what I'm gonna do. We'll see. All I did was just rotate down to idle. I had it kicked up a little bit. Honda motors come with a little lock that will lock your throttle in place so you don't have to hold your hand on it. And mine's not perfect. Like if it vibrates too much, it'll unlock, so I put some tape on it just to make sure that doesn't happen. But nevertheless, it works. So I'm gonna come in here and anchor. Just now the boat got to the speed where it was faster than the dinghy just started taking over power. It moved up. Which I think I'm going to take it out of gear. Feet deep. So much sand on this boat. In 2 days of being out on the beach, on the lake, I get so much sand. Alright, we got 27 feet. I'm just gonna let us coast all the way in there. Okay, so my mind is made up. Essentially, we're gonna fix the carburetor. We're gonna pull the carb off and rebuild the cart. That's something that needs to be done. And then over the next 2 to 3 months, I'm going to put a outboard motor on this. They make little kits that you can hang an outboard motor on the back of this boat that's relatively cheap. So I'm gonna get that, and then I'll be honest with you, I'm sick of I never want to buy a used motor again. So I'm probably gonna look at buying a 10 horsepower new Honda or Mercury or something. We'll see which one makes the most sense. All right, we're at 21 feet. I'm gonna drop it in. Now my goal is not to use the outboard motor as a sole propulsion for this sailboat. It's to use it for, honestly, if I'm gonna go for 10 hours, I'll drive with the outboard motor, and I want to get the rebuilt motor working so I get my money out of that motor. I don't want it not working, so that will be my primary goal, is to get it to work. However, the outboard motor seems like a legitimate way to relieve my concerns as I'm going down this river going forward. So alright, so now I have to switch the battery back to the house battery. But I want to try this motor one more time. Alright. Yeah, done playing with that shit. How deep are we? 14 feet? That's pretty shallow. I'll leave that on. I'm gonna leave Cricket sleeping. She's sleeping under the comforter. Yeah, 14 feet. So I'm gonna hang out here for a while till we do a full swing. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out here for a while till we do a full swing, and I make sure that we're not near that shoaling, too close to that shoaling. Then after that, River and I are gonna go hit that beach and that beach. I mean, it's a calm day. I might actually take River on a dinghy ride across this whole lake, up into the ditch, and see how far of a drive it would be to get to Pickwick. I'm debating on whether to take my dinghy to drive to go get my pickup truck. I think it's like 120 miles, which would be like a 12-hour day if we average 10 miles an hour. But one of my buddies said he'd grab my pickup truck and come pick me up, so we might do that. That's probably the easiest thing to do. We'll see. We'll see. This bald eagle's just been hovering around right here, just going to land in a tree. But the loons, this lake is just as amazing. You can hear the eagle talking. It just probably got a fish, that's why it's so excited. But the loon right here just did a full call out, and he's right in front of the boat. Look at that. There's that loon that just keeps yelling out, looking for a mate. So I got steak and beans, and this is lunch. So I'm gonna have a really small dinner. I'm probably actually gonna have I got a bunch of rice, so I'm gonna start working my way through rice. Yeah. The bald eagles have been eating and screaming, and the loons have been screaming. It's like they're happy the sun's out or something. I don't know, but it's beautiful today. Yeah, it's awesome. Now, a lot of the videos that I take, this is the perspective of the sailboat, but you don't get to see when River's up there. If River were to step down or what have you, there's another weird sailboat out there that we normally walk on. They just don't, the pets don't use this. But when Cricket is up on this kind of thing, you know, she has another 2 feet of boat that's all grippy that she can grip onto, and then a steep ledge that's made of wood that she could claw onto. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take him to the beach, and then we're going to go to the marina. We'll see, though. It's a nice day.
Too much time thinking about all of my mistakes. My heart, my mind, my soul, my body aches. A hunger for the loving arms of your embrace. I walk along the lonely road. I walk along the lonely road. My back is strong through a cabin loop. I'm on the ground in time, I pay the debt that's owed. I walk along a lonely road. Too much time thinking about everything that went wrong. Cry my eyes out every time I hear your song. hope this path leads me back where I belong. Walk along and along.
Well, here is the plan. I'm going to take these pets back to the marina. My buddy's going to come pick me up with the pickup truck. We're going to take the dinghy and the pets back to Cuba Landing. And I'm going to spend some time between the island life on the houseboat and the RV. Now, I'm kind of excited about this whole process because one part of the people who watch my channel have been kind of left out during this travel part. The people who only watch my channel for me building stuff have been left out during this trip. I am going to present over the next couple of days and weeks a new playlist that involves only building, where I have built everything from the first boat that I got 6 years ago to a couple of houseboats to a camper, a wooden camper bed that goes on the back of my pickup. And I'm going to put those all together. Now, the reason I'm putting those together is because one of my newest uploads will start to be me building my own cabin or my own shelter on my property. Some of that is going to be done during this winter break, and some of those episodes are going to be uploaded. I'm currently trying to figure out how to cut down my trees and harvest them, and then cut them to be wood where I can dry them out and use them to build a shelter. So that's where we're at right now. Now, I know that this feels as if I'm jumping all over the place, and some people watching just want to see me show up on an island in the Bahamas. But in reality, another time, another place follows my life through every situation, and even though the playlist may jump from one area to another, this is my December and my January and my February, and this is what me and my dog and cat are doing during these months. Living off-grid makes you move around for the weather. That's one of the main criterias that I have found, is that the weather will mess up an off-grid or vagabond lifestyle. Whether you're in an RV, whether you're in a sailboat or a houseboat, the weather determines what you can and can't do in these vehicles, which makes people travel on different times of the year to different places. Unfortunately, with these engine problems, I'm stuck where I'm in a place where I need to shelter out for winter. And this is my plan to get through.
Pushing past the limit, tripping on hallucinogenics. My cigarette burnt my finger 'cause I forgot I lit it. Ripping with my sinners 'cause fuck it, man, I ain't no beginner. And then I crawled back to the life that I said I wouldn't live in. 'Cause I just couldn't open up, I'm always shifting. Go find yourself a man who's strong and tall and Christian. Pushing past the limit, tripping on hallucinogenics. My cigarette burned my finger 'cause I forgot.
Sun is going down. Starting to get nice and purple. We were able to get out here about an hour ago. It's going to be no wind tonight, so I was like, I'm not staying anywhere near a marina. It's going to be so beautiful tonight. It's still cold. It's only 42 right now. So we got the heat going. He's excited about being here.
Rock girl, whiskey's gonna ease my mind. Beach towel dress on the drying line. Do
Do I remind you of your daddy in his 88 Ford? Labrador hanging out the passenger door. The sand from your hair is blowing in my eyes. Blame it on the beach, grown men don't cry. Do you remember that beat down basement couch? I'd sing you my love songs and you'd tell me about.
There is a lot happening in Another Time, Another Place over the next few months. So subscribe, share, like, comment. Let me know what you think. I've been really thinking about how to design a small shelter on that property, and at first I thought, oh, let's build something in the trees, and then I was like, well, if I'm going to build something on a little tiny off-grid property, I want it to last till I'm 100 years old. And I don't know, a lot of things are running through my head about how to make something that's going to last that long. And I also don't want to... I want to try to build it without spending too much money. Yeah, and I'll get into some details about where this is all coming from, or why I'm thinking this stuff, or why it matters in the next few episodes. But I'd like to use either reclaimed wood or make my own wood. I'm not afraid of buying, expensive things like sliding glass doors or furniture and stuff like that, but I just really want to try to build something that's not from Home Depot, We'll see. A lot of it probably will end up being that way. Like you can't really beat a 2x4. 2x4s are $2 to $3. So buying a 2x4 doesn't bother me. It's the big beams or 4x4s, things like that. I need to start thinking about if I could build it, make it. So we're gonna look at that over the next couple of episodes. I just can't get over how relaxing it is to be back on this houseboat and beached, and just having my own yard with these pets is just amazing. And going on adventures with the dinghy. So we are going to get a few episodes of that. In fact, I'm probably going to go either up to Birdsong or Cub Creek over the next few episodes. And yeah. The other thing is, I don't remember this boat being okay when it was snowing out in 20 degrees. So we might have to do something with increasing the heat or insulation and stuff like that. And so we'll get into that. We'll see where we're going over the next few episodes. And then update on the sailboat. We're going to winterize it. And I've been down there twice, just looking at things and putting things away. The one thing I've learned is I should have left 2 months before I left. And it's kind of a weird thing, because from what I've learned, I don't want to be in the Bahamas in February because it's too windy and it's not comfortable. You want to be there in April, but you don't want to leave here where it's cold during the nights as you're driving down there. So I don't know. It could just be that I have the wrong vessel for the river part of it, and this boat the sailboat will start to shine once I hit the ocean. We'll see.